Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 28th. We've almost made it to the end of another month. Whew, can you believe that? I've had some messages on Facebook asking me, well, aren't you doing any artwork? Well, yes, I've been doing some. I've been doing some experimenting, trying to come up with some new things that we can do together when we all get back here to HLOKC. And one of the things that I've been doing is painting on silk. As far as we've done some silk scarves. So I contacted the company that we bought the scarves from, and they also sell like just yardage with silk. And so I've been trying some different silk things. And so this is one, as far as I came up with some flowers, and I did the silk as far as like a kind of a batik, putting on the resist. And then I decided to kind of sew it as far as with some batting on the back and stuff it. And then this is one that I finished. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been experimenting with some things that we might try when we all get back together again. Today's video, however, is on how to use our 3.5 lettering that we've been working on this week and use it and combine it with the perspective that we did a couple weeks ago. So we're going to do 2-point perspective with a word today. All right, so today we're going to combine our knowledge of perspective with our knowledge of our 3x5 lettering system. We're going to start with a horizon line, and we're going to make 2 vanishing points. All right, then if you recall when we did the boxes, we started off with a vertical line as far as the edge of when we made our boxes. And we're going to start off just like we made our boxes. We're going to combine the top and the bottom of the line to each of the 2 vanishing points. Then we're going to decide how wide we want our letter to be. We're going to start with our ruler right here, and we're going to pull it back evenly. And I'm going to figure out how far back I want to be on the side. Then we're going to take this top point back to this vanishing point, and this one back to this vanishing point, and we now have our box. So we're going to do a letter inside of that. We're going to divide this by 3, and we're going to divide this by 5. And it doesn't have to be exact. So like you have your top and bottom points, so you just need 4 in the middle. So I know this is kind of a trying time for everybody, but the thing that I want you to keep is your joy. And so we're going to do the word joy today. I want you to find joy in whatever you can find that's joyful that you are doing. You know, call somebody up and just try to come up with something that's fairly joyful. So the J goes down and it curves, comes up and around. And so that you can see it, I'm going to go over it with an ink pen so that you can kind of see it a little darker than just the pencil. And you'd have your J. Now, how do we turn that into 3 dimensions? Well, we already have this part going back. And we're going to do the same thing with the bottom part of the J. We're going to take these 2 connection points, go back to the vanishing point, and then because this is a curve, you have to pivot. You put your pencil on the vanishing point and you bring your ruler up to where it just touches that letter. From this point, we can get the part that goes back. So we make this straight, go this way and down. And then you'd be able to, oh, forgot one part. You've got to go back from this part, top of the J, got to go back to this finishing point. So we can take and we can draw our lines. And you'd have the first letter, your J. Now we're going to go back. We're just going to take and go from this line and go back a little bit, make our space, how much space we want. And then you're going to just estimate. You want your spaces to get slightly smaller as they go back because they're going back into perspective. And I'm going to go ahead and make my spaces as long as I'm going this way for my O and my Y. All right, so my O, I'm going to curve 4 corners, just like we did before. And then because it's a curve, again, you're going to have to put your pencil on the pivot point, take your ruler and figure out where it's going to match. Same thing at the top, figure out where it's going to match. Now this part is kind of straight, so it's straight. But this part is kind of curved, so it's curved. So then when you do your line, we can curve it around. Then you can erase. Okay, now the Y, if you guys recall, we made it just like we made an X. You had 4 dots across and 4 dots at the bottom. And we connected lightly to make an X. But where this meets in the middle, that's the bottom part of the Y. So we'll just go over and outline our Y. And you can see how this back part of the Y is smaller than the top part here. It gets a little smaller because it's going back. All right, and then we're going to take all of our pivotal points and we're going to go back to our vanishing point. All right, this is the back of our letters. So we have our line that's going back this direction. And on the Y is a little different in that this is a slant. So you've got this point, which is the back of the top of your Y, but then you've got to slant this one. So you're going to lay your ruler on it, move it back to make that angle. The same way here, you're going to take and line it up, move it back to your intersection to make your line. Then we could outline it so that you can see what you have. And if you've drawn your pencil light enough, you can erase that and be able to see your word in 2-point perspective. Now, from here, you could always take and you could shade it with your pencil. You could add color. You know, you could decide, right, this side's going to be a little darker. You could add shading. This will be the darkest down in here. And so you do it just like we did the boxes, where you have some light and some medium and some dark shading. Anything that's going behind is going to be a little darker. O's are kind of fun because you have dark and then you have light. It graduals and goes very gradually to your darker kind. Inside your lettering, think of them as far as be concrete letters. And you can just kind of keep getting carried away as long as you want to go, just so that you can begin to start seeing the three-dimensional that you can make. You can make any word that you want, but this is my word for you today, because I just wish you all the joy that you can have today, and find some joy today. All right, have a good day. Signing off for Tuesday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful time, and don't forget to wash your hands. Bye-bye.